I think we've both sort of discussed the prospect of Davros returning in previous videos.
I think we've mentioned it, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
I thought it was going to be in Revolution of the Daleks this time last year. So
we thought that Rixton Slade was going to be in Revolution of the Daleks, so I'm not surprised.
Do you know what actually happened with that? I think what happened is that...
I was thinking about this the other day. Yeah, go on. What was that about?
The bit with the defence drones where they're like all across the world in different places.
Yes.
Like an airport or whatever. There's a bit at Cardiff Castle, or a castle, which I think is meant to be Edinburgh Castle.
Right.
But it's Cardiff standing in for Edinburgh.
Okay.
And I think something was filmed with him because he's Scottish.
He's
Scottish? Playing bagpipes or something.
Oh.
I believe so.
So he wasn't playing the same character, essentially?
No.
He was,
No, different character.
What the heck was that?
I believe that's what that was about.
Wow. Yeah, I only remember that the other day. I was like, what was that really weird rumour about his character?
Oh, bizarre.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So yeah, we'll talk about whether Davros could be in anything coming up. I sort of hoped as well that we might see the defence drones or some like variation of that design of this era's Daleks, but not looking likely. But again, we'll discuss that. And then also Jack Robertson cropping up at some point again. Seems likely, but then I don't know. You've got 3 episodes.
I think he could probably be one of them, even if not. Like as a main character, as a cameo, kind of like a, maybe on the TV, maybe they'll be flicking through the channels and, I mean, imagine if this is true, like literally they'll be like flicking through the TV about some sort of, world catastrophe and it'll be him commenting saying, I think it's all nonsense and, I've got a perfect book out to explain why this is all ridiculous or whatever.
Well, anyway, let's turn our attention to this special. So, we've sort of known details about it for about a week or so now after Flux finished. It's called Eve of the Daleks, and it's going to be like a time loopy thing,
sort of Groundhog Day, mixed with an action movie, I suppose. That's the kind of sense I got from the trailer, which was a very unique kind of trailer, like the Old Lang Syne, but mixed around about 10 different times, going back and forth.
Yes.
I thought that was really clever, and it made me sort of go, I'm really excited. Especially, weirdly, sometimes with the Chibnall stuff, the trailers at the end of the series make me go, oh no, don't use that, it spoils it, let me just enjoy the moment of the episode. Whereas for the Vanquishers, I left, the Vanquishers sort of finished, and I was like, oh, I don't know if that was really what I was hoping for. And then the trailer for Eve of the Daleks happened. Not the next time trailer. That was just about 2 seconds long. But the actual BBC trailer afterwards, I watched that and I was like, that looks really good. That's quite exciting. So Groundhog Day kind of episode.
I mean, it's not what I was expecting necessarily, but then with the COVID restriction, I think it makes a lot of sense that they're doing this chamber episode. Obviously, with like only 2 other characters apart from the TARDIS team, or 2 main characters, and Daleks all sort of in one location, it would seem. I mean, I don't know. What do we think? I mean, I said on Twitter recently, I can't quite work out in my head if I don't want to raise expectations or hopes or anything, but is this going to be what it says on the tin and literally just be
the Daleks stuff?
Like, what we've seen, like the Daleks, the characters, the guest characters, the TARDIS team, are they just going to sustain that for like an hour, or is there going to be some other twist in the tale somewhere? I don't know.
Knowing Chibnall,
I can't like that.
Knowing Chibnall, and given how big of an event Flux was, I think it would be disappointing if none of that is referenced. And also, I can't see him not making it tie into anything else as well. I can't see Chibnall at this stage making something standalone. The TARDIS Exhibit A is still messed up, still fluxed up. Yeah. So I don't get how they couldn't not address
references
that.
made. Yeah, like in the caption in this image, it says the flux damaged TARDIS. So it would seem to sort of confirm that there is something going on there. And of course, that's the first glimpse we actually got of the special in the promo image a couple of weeks ago, with the sort of infinity symbol, which obviously suggests the time loop thing.
That's true. So that sort of solves that, doesn't
it? That's how it ties
in,
I think. Unless there's something more to that.
I think that would be why. But
and then we've got this sort of love story between these 2 characters. I think Sarah and Nick.
which is
I think they're
very similar to Resolution, I suppose, isn't
Mitch
it?
and Lynn.
In a way, I hope it's not just a rehash of.
Yeah,
you know,
it's weird how it's been described. Like Chill's been describing it. It's like, it's a love story where the obstacles, the relationship or the love story, whatever, isn't just the people themselves or the issues themselves, or whatever, but the Daleks. Bizarre. So it makes you wonder about what issues they're gonna have to work around. How
that's strange. I don't know how interesting that might be.
No.
Or I think that Ashlingby, as we've worked out to pronounce her name.
Yes.
I think that she'll be great. I think that she's a very good comic performer, so I hope she's given a lot to work with in terms of that. But then equally, we've seen, John Bishop perform some really weighty material. So having a comedian, it doesn't necessarily mean you've got to be funny. I think she could just be a great actress as is, really.
So apparently she's like the owner of this storage unit. I mean, let's get onto the premise of it, I suppose.
Yeah. I barely know anything about it.
And like, even when that first synopsis came out, it was like, sorry, what? But cause it sounds really weird. Basically, there's this storage unit called ELF Storage, possibly like a Christmas reference thing to like elves.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. And you've got someone called Nick visiting. Just saying. This other character,
okay.
And apparently he like visits every year on New Year's Eve, and she's in charge of it. And that's literally all we know.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
So they've not even
referenced.
Daleks, they've not even referenced the time loop thing in the marketing material or anything like that.
I think they have since, but not the very first initial thing. That was just it.
Purely,
and it was like, and we didn't even know the Daleks were in it at that point for sure either. But
okay.
Yeah, obviously they are in there, and this sort of describes them as being an execution squad. So we've had a death squad.
Right.
We're now going to have an execution squad.
Hence
apparently.
the new gun design.
The new guns.
I don't know what I think of it because
no.
So the new plunger is this claw thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the new gun is like a really long extended one.
The barrel thing.
And what it's kind of done is because the claw is shorter than the plunger. And because the gun is longer than a normal gun, they're sort of the same length. Yeah. And to me, that just looks wrong from a proportions perspective.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
It's a tiny little thing. Ultimately, I'm not gonna go and cry over it, but it just looks a bit weird. I don't know about you. What do you think of the look? I know it is ultimately just the Bronze Daleks.
Yeah, I think that's more. That's more of an issue for me. Well, not an issue, it's like an annoyance that it's the Bronze Daleks again. And yes, they've done something a bit different with them.
We talked a lot about this in one of the videos that we were saying, weren't we?
And like I guess as well, it explains. If you remember, there was that image of a Dalek on set, and it was like covered up with a blanket on the top.
Yes.
And it explains why the appendages were obscured by bubble wrap, because clearly one of them was this sort of new gun thing. The director for this episode, who is
it's a woman, isn't it?
She's a woman. Yeah, she's new to TV. This is her first gig. Where does it say? Annetta
Laufer.
Annetta Laufer. That's it. Yeah. I mean, you can tell from that image there that this sort of, and the quote. I think she is going to shoot the Daleks really well, and the setting is going to lend itself to like all these spooky sort of Daleks. Yeah, exactly. And sort of down darkly lit corridors and all this sort of stuff.
I'm interested because it seems like a very small scale ultimately, but maybe they'll do something really interesting with what they've got.
That's sort of why I'm thinking. Okay, it's the Bronze Daleks again, but the saving grace might be that they're shot very well. Really nicely.
Well, I mean, think about Revolution of the Daleks. To be fair, the Death Squad in that were shot really nicely in that sort of spaceship in their own little ship.
Spaceship, yeah.
And I thought they were shot really nicely.
Because again, in that video, I sort of made some reservations about how they were shot on the bridge in that other video they were talking about, just in terms of the logistics of it, I guess. But then if you're in a sort of indoor contained space, maybe like with one of them down a corridor or something, I mean, you can't mess that up. I think that's gonna be quite easy to perfect, I think.
I mean, do you think this will be the last outing for the Bronze Daleks? Do you think this will be
I mean, again, we sort of said that last time, didn't we? That we hope so.
Well, I don't know about. I think you're more against it than not. I love these guys.
Would you be happy to just carry on seeing them again forever?
I would. Well, I love the design of them in terms of the actual the mold and everything like that is so good, and it is. I would not blame them for keeping on using them. I would like to see a different colour scheme. I thought Time Lord Victorious, if it did anything for us, Time Lord Victorious proved that these guys look great in different colours. Like, I would love to see some maybe silver and black ones or whatever. Especially, you've got a Dalek Execution Squad. It's a petty thing, I know. But make them a different colour. Come on. Just paint the domes or something
I think it is literally just because they're, like, hiring them in from all around the country. Like,
probably they probably just can't. They can't.
Yeah, I think
they can afford to change the attachments.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame because it would just make it, that I think that would make people a bit more favourable towards it. But yeah, I do love them. I think they're great, and I wouldn't be adverse to seeing more of them. Sure, it would be nice to have a bit of a change, but a new colour scheme might be nice. I guess or a new mould at the very least, because these are like this planet Earth Daleks, and they're really soft.
I've seen that said as well, that like the build quality of them isn't as good as the original ones back in the day.
Yeah, it's a real shame that. Because you're right, they are probably just hired in from people as opposed to
that's it, isn't it?
But yeah,
very classic series sort of approach there, but. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, they're Daleks, and whatever they look like, whatever design they are, they're still Daleks. So, I don't know. You can only get so irritated by it, and
it's not going to affect the story. Ultimately.
No, it won't.
It's a very minor visual thing, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They do. My eyes are drawn to this. They do look very nice.
Yeah, they are just a very, very. Yeah. They just work. I don't know why.
They do work.
Yeah, I just love them. Maybe it's because I like the toys. I don't know, but
yeah.
I do think that they've lasted this long for a reason. Put it that way, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is now the look for the Daleks.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, sure, the classic series ran from 63 till 89. So what's that? 26 years.
Yeah.
With roughly this, I know there was a lot of tweaks, but roughly the same base mold. And I mean, we've had what? 2005. What are we on now?
Like 16 years, aren't we?
16 years. Yeah. I mean, so ultimately, just for that reason, I'd say that it's not like they've outstayed their welcome in that way. If it ain't broke, don't repaint it.
I guess.
Clearly.
I don't know. I mean, again, we were saying last time, I think, that like it'll take like a big reset or a big new era thing for them to like have funding to do new Daleks again. Yeah.
But even then, I think Russell might just go.
He's not going to do it.
But he might just think, they are they're marvellous. So he might just say, what, we'll just invest in making brand new versions of them. With crisp moulds. Maybe we might tart them up a bit. You might give them a new dome.
I mean, if they were showing them some love again, and like properly, then I could maybe get behind that. I don't know.
But again, this is just proving how much we know about the special, given that we're talking about
the Daleks,
about the shape of the Dalek prop. But
I mean, that's that. I mean, again, I'm making loads of references back to that other video we did, but I know that we said, and it's one of the points, the predictions we made, where the jury's still out about whether we're going to see any other designs again, like new designs or variations of the new design.
The defence drones?
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's looking very unlikely now.
I can't see the defence drones.
Like a chamber episode.
The defence drones, I think, are literally tied to Revolution of the Daleks. I don't think there's going to be anything other than that. I don't know about the
recon.
The recon Dalek. That's again very much tied to Resolution.
It's a story,
I don't think.
I think I'd be surprised if they made such a massive thing about like, oh, it's a Dalek without an operator, like it's backshot or whatever it is, like moves by remote control.
But who's controlling it?
Oh,
sorry, I hear the word remote control. Sorry, carry on.
Well, it's Christmas, so yeah. No, I think I'd be surprised if they didn't like show off that technology again. Maybe
It does seem weird. It
But
does seem
I
a bit like a
don't see
case
how
of
they do
like
it,
Chameleon. You know how they were like, we've got this brand
yeah, exactly.
new
That's why I'm
state of the art
thinking.
technology. We're going to use it as much. Oh, actually, it
Yeah.
doesn't work that
Like
well. So.
even if it was just for a cameo, or like I don't know, one of them was in like one of the storage units, or I don't know. I can't quite see how that would happen. And
Well,
similar with Davros.
That's the thing. I was just going to say, if Davros came back,
Yeah.
do you think they'd do? Given that the Bronze Boys are here,
Yeah.
it would have to be Julian Bleach. Or at the very least, his chair. whether he'd be like, oh no, I don't want to do that again. So they might just get someone else. But it would have to
Get
be
a guy from Time Fracture.
I mean, yes. So Time Fracture, yeah. So he's going to be he's in Time Fracture. So maybe they'll have to tie it up. You know.
Because I remember reading something about that actually. I think someone. So they made a new chair for Time Fracture. I read a new Davros chair. That's not the
but
original
it's a
one.
replica.
It's a replica. I think the person who made it said they couldn't use the original because. Well,
you never know.
So you never know.
I mean,
but
the makers
to
of
be
Time
honest,
Fracture did talk really closely to Chris Chibnall. So
yeah.
Maybe the fact that Davros is in Time Fracture would suggest that
But he's not here.
He's not in anything soon, or at the very least, maybe they're just having to skirt Daleks very closely, or very far away. I don't know, but that to me. But then again, Kate Stewart was in Time Fracture.
Was in both. Yeah.
He's in Time Fracture, so it's not completely.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, my gut feeling is the ship has sailed for that now. We're probably not going to see like a 30th Doctor Davros story.
I don't think so. I'm willing to bet that.
Yeah.
I don't think Davros is going, and I don't think he will be in Eve of the Daleks. I don't think that.
No.
I'm going to be my words, aren't I? You're going to play this clip, aren't you? You're going to post. You're going to have this ready to post on New Year's Day the second Davros comes on screen. No, I can't. I just don't.
Then this is the thing. On the other hand, as well. So if we say that, but then if this is like a loose trilogy, and to be fair, it might not be. It might just be literally okay. We've done the Daleks 3 times on New Year's Day. Then there's nothing to link the stories necessarily, apart from the fact that they are just Dalek stories.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I don't know if I would expect then for there to be some sort of payoff or callback.
Yeah,
to
like
them.
there's
somehow,
a link. There's
I
a
don't
link
know.
between Resolution and
Yeah.
Revolution. There isn't really a link between.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Revolution.
The,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah,
that we know
because
of.
yeah, exactly. Like, there's no defense drones. There's nothing tying it up, is there? Unless that's the reason that they've come back. Maybe there's something to do with the defense drones. Maybe there's kit that's been left over. Maybe there's plans that they're like, oh, we've got to get. Maybe they're in this storage unit and they're sort of like, we need to get in there and wipe all this out so that nothing like this happens again.
Yeah, it is weird. I'll pull up the
why are they there?
official
otherwise?
synopsis because I think the synopsis on the website does mention this. Like, why are the Daleks there? And it's one of those things where it could just
You
be
need to get some soup.
yeah, exactly. It could be literally just a
take
very
the soup
minor
for tomorrow.
plot point, or it could be something important.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
to be
maybe
honest,
that is
to
because
be
you're
honest.
right. It would seem very odd to have 3 Dalek specials, not back to back on New Year's Day because we had Spyfall in the middle, but
Yeah.
very closely linked for the latter two, the former two, sorry, to not have any link at all.
New Year's Eve, Sarah is working again. Nick is her only customer again. Same old, same old. I don't like these guys.
Yeah.
Except this year, their countdown to midnight will be the strangest and deadliest they have ever known. Why is an executioner Dalek targeting these 2 people in this place on this night? Why are they having to live through the same moments again? Can the Doctor, Yaz and Dan save them and survive into the new year? So yeah, I don't know how to... I don't know. I'm not going to raise hopes or anything, I don't think. I'm just going to go into it thinking
Just
that it is. But then part of me thinks as well, if we are now into the home straight, and this is
this is the third to last Jodie story.
Yeah, it's like...
This is like Waters of Mars.
Exactly,
David
yeah.
Tennant. This is like what was before? It was before Nightmare in Silver was Matt Smith's third to last story. So I don't know about that actually. Name of the Doctor, sorry, was that Matt?
Yeah.
Third to last, yeah. So you never know. You never know.
You never know. I don't know.
But you're right. There's that hanging over it. Like this is one of our last Jodie stories.
But I think as well. I mean, have you seen all the stuff about how the second special is apparently going to be like a Asian pirates story? Have you seen that?
Yeah, which is
Which again, that sounds weird. Like,
yeah,
unless that was just one element of like a larger trotting thing.
I'd be more. I think that would be more likely than a sole historical for Jodie's second to last for her penultimate story. I can't see that being the prime, focus.
Yeah.
I reckon that's going to be, a bit like how we said, I thought there was going to be a suffragette story in series 13, and it was literally just one shot of them walking along. I think that it's going to be a very similar thing of we start the story and Yaz, Dan, and the Doctor are on this pirate ship, and then they'll get summons to defeat the Master or whatever it is, Davros.
I don't know. I mean, even if it is just like its own standalone thing, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm not as excited as I was this time last year for Revolution.
No, I think because
we've just had Flux. I don't know.
Yeah, I think as well because the Vanquish has left us both feeling a bit flat. And it's that same thing, I guess, with Ransker of Kolos in Series 11, where, like in that case, the special was like the proper finale in that case.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether to expect something similar again.
Surely
but
not.
Probably not to the same extent. So I don't know really.
I think this is the revolution of the Daleks to Series 12. This is the this is just like an extra bit of something really. I can't see this. I can't see this being a finale to Flux, doesn't. But I equally can't see it not acknowledging Flux at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like suggestion that the Daleks could be like a division squad, like the division, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and how much do you think the TARDIS will tie into it? Because obviously it's still,
Yeah, I think it'd be
disrepair.
pretty safe to assume that is like the cause for the time. Well, I don't know. I say that. Unless it's something else in the storage unit.
Or maybe it'll be a kind of cliffhanger. Maybe they'll keep referencing the TARDIS throughout the episode, like, oh my god, it's on its last legs, or like, no, it'll be fine. And then they'll walk into the TARDIS at the very end of the episode, about to leave, and it goes in on itself, or it flings them into another reality. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice, actually. Yeah,
it is all just random speculation at this point. I don't think there's much.
We've got so much to go on, haven't we? Yeah.
I mean, less to go on than
Revolution,
maybe.
I think just because there are so many like returning characters, and like Graham and Ryan's last episode as well, there was like more to go on there.
Yeah.
But as well, one thing we haven't quickly mentioned, like it's set in Manchester apparently.
Yeah. Which is nice, it's nice to from it is weird, isn't it? From like the Davies and Moffat era, everything was set in London.
Yeah.
And now we've had Liverpool, we've had Sheffield, we're going to have Manchester.
I can totally imagine there's going to be some like they're going to make some joke about like Yorkshire and Scouse and like Manchester being in the middle. There's going to be something I can just guarantee.
Yeah, there's going to be some sort of
And like I don't know, part of me is like hoping as well that maybe not like a massive thing or anything, but just like little throwaway references to this present day world that we've seen in other stories, like in Revolution of the Daleks, like with Jack Robertson and your Prime Minister and all these little world building things. Maybe just some like reference to that.
I'm not, like we were saying, I'm not as excited as I was this time last year, but
I think it is going to be one of those, like a case of just like it is that sort of stereotypical festive special thing where you sit down and you just let it wash over you and just just hope
it's
for the
New
best.
Year's Day, it's kind of like we'll have had a nice bit of a meal and whatnot, and then settle down some Doctor Who. It's
hopefully a good final Dalek story for the 13th Doctor. I guess that's all we can hope for, and something a bit experimental and different with the time loop thing.
Exactly.
But hey, you might have already seen the episode by the time you're watching this, so you'll know. But if not, then it might be on, I don't know, like next week or something, or tomorrow or whatever. Yeah. So enjoy it. And let's hope some of our predictions are correct.
And we might see you at some point to give our thoughts.
Oh yes, of course,
speculation or whatever.
Some sort of a reaction or response to it. Yeah, review, whatever. So look forward to that. Check out all the stuff we've done recently, the past few weeks. These have been going out, and happy New Year, I guess. Yeah. And see you.
Happy New Year.
Happy nearly
New Year.
And see you in 2022. for more collabs like this. Bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.